You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
What's up, ladies? How y'all doing? Yes, we are still in Mocha's Ladies Lounge, but this is my special segment when I have hot topics, current events, celebrity news, Mocha's Daily Drip, where we spill it, sip it, and serve it piping hot with zero sugar coating. So, y'all, I definitely had to get on board with this one, simply because, I have, for quite some time, I was definitely a fan of, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. But over the years, I would say probably the last two, maybe no longer than that. I would say probably the last, about 2 to 3 years. I fell off the bandwagon because, the storylines just started becoming way more fabricated, forced drama, forced storylines. It's getting to the point to where, a lot of these reality shows are losing its sauce. A lot of the drama, even Love and Marriage Huntsville, even Basketball Wives, Atlanta Housewives, all of these shows now are just starting to become very stale. It's like they're creating mediocre drama just enough to keep us tuning in. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm over it. I'm over a lot of it. I'm over the high school shenanigans of people who are in a bad marriage want to call out other people's bad marriages, or men, who are not handling their business want to call out other men who ain't handling their business. It just seems to be a lot of facade with these reality shows, and they're running out of time. A lot of these shows are on life support, and it's like they're trying to force storylines, and most of the storylines are very basic. How many times are we going to keep hearing about somebody cheating? How many times are we going to keep hearing about somebody talking about somebody gossiping about somebody? I'm like, we need something way more something way more juicy, something way more fulfilling. These reality shows, all of them, they're just not hitting the spot for me. It's a lot of foreplay going on, but it's no spots. They're not stroking or hitting on anything. Not for me, all right? The climax is gone. The climax for me when it comes to these reality shows, they are just gone, right? But, nevertheless, Rasheeda and Kirk are definitely going to have some real reality rude awakening with the current event, the current news that's surrounding them about their son, Kai, and also Kirk's oldest son and his daughter as well. And we're going to get into that as we, get more and more into the Daily Drip, right? So, as I was stating, like I said, I've always watched Love and Hip Hop, and I fell off of that bandwagon. And it was brought to my attention because I be on different social media sites, and when I heard about Kirk and Rasheeda'S children possibly being linked to the unaliving of a rapper, which you see in the middle of the thumb here, that's hugging Kirk's daughter Kelsey. Keep in mind, Rasheeda and Kirk do not have any daughters. They only have 2 sons, Kai and Carter, and Kai is their oldest. Kirk has children from previous relationships, because as y'all know, Kirk is older than Rasheeda, so he already had a lot of responsibilities and whatnot before he even got with Rasheeda. Kirk even has grandchildren, okay? So Kirk started, you know what I mean, like, putting himself out there early, okay? And it seems to me he still is struggling to grow up in that, but nevertheless, I'm not married to him, so I don't know. Keep in mind, anything I say in this content is for entertainment and purposes only. Anything I say is based off of my own opinion, based on my own perspective. Nothing I say is actual factual. Also, I'm going to be playing different resources that is going to also provide other information pertaining to this case. And again, everybody is innocent until proven guilty. So until then, all of this is just straight speculation. We don't know for sure. The law investigators, people who specialize in doing this, have not come forth yet and stated the facts. So until then, anything you hear from me or any content creator for that matter is just basically speculation, okay? We really don't know as of yet. No one has been arrested. That part I can tell you. One person who was special interest, they did let them go. So, yes, unfortunately, the case is nowhere near being resolved. T. Hood did indeed pass away. So one thing we do know is a life has been taken. There's a family that's devastated this morning. All of this happened 2 days ago, I believe, on the 10th. So all of this, the wounds are fresh and new. So there's a lot that we have to talk about, a lot that has to be discussed. So as I stated, Kirk and Rasheeda, which is known for having their continuous marital issues due to Kirk's infidelity. Kirk also had a child, outside of his marriage to Rasheeda. Him and Rasheeda have been married well over 15 years or whatever the case is. And they always caught a lot of heat over the years, for their marriage. And unfortunately, when you choose this life and you decide to sign up to become a reality show celebrity, anything that goes on in your house, it gives people room to opinionate, to bash you, to insult you. And while you're trying to move on and get past it and actually grow from it, there's going to always be somebody there to remind you of your failures and remind you of all of your misfortunes, you know what I mean? Unfortunately, you have a lot of miserable people out here, right? So they could be going through the same thing or such as worse, but because they are behind a keyboard, that gives them an advantage in being able to opinionate and throw a lot of shade. And some have never been married, so it's easy for people who have never been married to opinionate and say what a person should take or shouldn't tolerate, whatever the case may be. But that's basically what the Fosters are known for. All the marital issues surrounded by Kirk's infidelities and Rasheeda's, stupidity or significant amount of patience, whatever you want to call it. Anybody who's been married for a long time can tell you there's a lot of secrets in marriage. And that's the only way you're going to have a marriage. You can't be transparent. You can't keep it real. You can't let people know what's going on in your house. As much as it would be great to be able to be open and transparent and let people know what you've gone through and how God has given you the grace and the strength to go through it, somebody is going to take your growth and basically try to demolish you for it and basically discredit you, So nevertheless, Rasheeda and Kirk have always had a lot of issues and controversy surrounding their marriage. But in this case, y'all, this is not a reality show. This is a reality that can very well change the Frosters' lives forever. Now, I will say this. I did go to Frost Bistro like last year. Me and my husband went while we were in Atlanta, and I would say the food is the bomb. I did see her kids working there. I actually saw her oldest son, Kai, actually busting some of the tables. So I will say this, people have a lot to say about Kirk and Rasheeda in their marriage, but when it comes to their children, I've never heard anything negative about their kids. I've never seen their kids go on social media twerking with their booty out, cussing, causing a scene, like T.I.'s son, King used to do a lot, crashing out, just embarrassing his parents. But I can say the Frost For what I've known, I've never heard their kids have any trouble or get in any major trouble. So for the most part, you can say what you want to say about Kirk and Rasheeda'S marriage, but they really are good parents. You know, from what I can gather, again, I can't speak for anyone else. Please hit that like button if you're coming in. I would gladly appreciate it. Please hit the likes if you have not done so already. But yeah, so I can say that, you know, and because I saw that with my own eyes when I saw his kids there working. Also, I did meet Rasheeda', and Rasheeda' is, I mean, stunningly beautiful in person. She really don't need makeup. She is just a natural baddie. I will say that. Kirk, honey, you got you a platinum gold. I mean, and it's always the guys who have, you know, women of this statue that want to sabotage her. But anyway, that's beside the point. But honestly, she's very pretty. I've seen her in person. She came to the table and checked on us and asked us if we liked the clientele, if we liked the atmosphere. So yeah, she was very, very attentive. A lot of celebrities aren't attentive to their restaurant. They don't care. They just want your money. They send their waitresses out to see your plate. They never meet you, greet you, none of that. But she was very, very sweet. Like I said, I don't know her on camera, but off camera, from what I saw, very professional, very sweet, very drop dead gorgeous. The camera does her no justice, like for real, right? So anyway, let's get to what's going on. Kirk Frank's daughter Kelsey is alleged to have her brother's unalive her rapper boyfriend. So y'all, I'm going to play a couple of clips because it's a whole lot going on with the situation. But just to give you the basics, Kelsey, which is Kirk's daughter, was in a relationship with T-Hood, which is an Atlanta rapper that's very much well respected. Something went down this particular night with her and T-Hood. Probably had an argument. Who's to say she probably was looking through his phone, saw something inappropriate that made her mad, or maybe they had some type of disagreement. Whatever the case was, it was something that totally changed the course of their lives and will forever impact the course of their lives as well. So in many instances, you know, you have these young women, especially those who got older brothers, uncles who they know would defend them, who they know will come to their rescue. A prime example is when rapper Fabulous, his ex baby mama Emily, same thing happened with her. Her and Fab had got in a situation. I think Fab had like a gun or something, and her and Fab had some type of confrontation going, and I guess the way he was behaving and acting, she started fearing for her safety. So she called her uncles and whoever else, her brothers, and told them that she was fearful of her life, being that Fabulous was on 1,000 and there was a weapon in the house, and she wanted them to come and get the weapon. When they went over there, all hell broke loose. Fab was cussing them out. They was going off on Fab about their sister Emily. And Emily, she is currently dating Country Wayne, the comedian, at this point in time. But anyway, Emily, also a very pretty woman, had a lot of self-esteem issues, and she did the same thing. You know, her and Fabulous fell out. She invited her peoples over there, knowing that was not understanding that would just add more gasoline to the fire. A lot of women do this, and this is why men need to use their due diligence. Most of the time, when there's a domestic violence encounter or domestic disputes, they tell you the majority of officers who respond to domestic violence disputes, they end up losing their life. The results are usually very tragic. They told me that when I first got into the police academy and was seeking to become a police officer. They said domestic calls are the #1 causes of officers, you know, dying. The highest percentage of officers' deaths come from them responding to domestic dispute calls. And it only makes sense. Anytime you approach a situation where you have two individuals on 1,000, they're angry, they're emotional, they're upset. I mean, we've all been there. You know, you and your significant other had a very intense argument, sometimes even an intense fight. And the last thing you need is for someone to just walk up on y'all while you're in the heat of the moment and you're not thinking clearly, or, you know, you're in a bad space in which you respond in a manner in which your life or somebody else's life can be taken. Because again, all emotions are on 1,000. It's been police officers who arrived to the scene only for that man to unalive him, shoot at him, take his life or whatever, because he feels like, I'm already upset, angry at what's going on, and I don't want nobody coming in my house trying to handle my situation or handle me in a situation. So it's a very, very dangerous situation. And we've heard all the YouTube stories, right? We heard of women calling family only for family to come over there and get killed, get hurt. We've heard simple things like certain women will call a friend to go ride with them when they go pick up the kids from the baby daddy because they feel like he's toxic, he's crazy, only for him to snap and unalive her friend who only took a ride with her just so she wouldn't be by herself. And that's what I tell my daughter. Every time these women call you with a crisis about their man or something like that, don't go up over there. Because he'll make an example to her by taking your life. You know what I mean? Just to show her, this is what I can do to you. And it's not fair to you when you have absolutely nothing to do with it. But listen, when the enemy is on his evil high, and when he's drunk off of, you know, trying to hurt someone, you put yourself in a very bad situation. But y'all, let's get to some of these clips, because again, after this situation went down, Kelsey's man, T-Hood, apparently had an altercation with either Kai or Kirk's other oldest son. Now, it's different sources. Some people are saying it's him and Rasheeda'S son, which is the light-skinned one in the thumbnail, Kai. Others are saying, no, it's Kirk's other son before him and Rasheeda had Kai. They're saying he did it. But then I also heard that both of them did it. Then I also heard that T-Hood had 5 bullet wounds in him. So usually when a person has that much bullet wounds, it ain't just one person. Or that one person could have been very well that angry or so far out of their element to where they were just letting off and not giving it no thoughts. Allegedly, one of the brothers was living with Kelsey and her man at the time, so probably been trouble already brewing. And you know, egos are dangerous, and when men get mad with other men, they don't do he say, she say. They don't go on social media being zesty. Most of the time, when there's a big or serious detrimental chaos between two men, 9 times out of 10 somebody's going to become unalived. Men don't talk, they go by actions. And if there was already trouble brewing, let's say if Kai and T Hood already wasn't getting along, it wasn't going to take much to spark the fire. The fact that she called her brothers, I don't think she understood that you were sparking a fire. Whatever point you wanted to prove to him, it was not worth you taking the measures that you did, because now I can tell it's eating her up. It's one thing for your husband, one thing for your significant other to be going to the store or be going deployed because he's in another country, the military, but when your significant other is literally deceased, that's a different type of gone. You feel the emptiness, you feel the void, you feel the reality. So the fact that she made that decision off of her choice is going to forever haunt her. But let's get into it. There are several different sources talking about this, and I want to share it with y'all, okay? Because it's just too much to cover, and I don't have the strength to break down every single element. Now, keep in mind, I did look into different sources pertaining to the story, y'all. So we are going to go into this and basically get down to the elements of what possibly could have happened. Again, all is alleged. I'm just going to be playing certain parts, and then we'll put the pieces together on what we think could possibly happen. But yeah, please hit that like button. Anybody who's coming in, we are talking about Rasheeda and Kirk Frost possibly may have children who may have, who have children who may have possibly gotten themselves into something very deep, very heavy. Kelsey's boyfriend allegedly was unalived by her brothers. And again, all of this is just speculation. No facts have been decided as of yet. So, get into the main thing, y'all. Let me see, because I want to go ahead and share. And y'all know I got all kind of videos and stuff, but that's besides the point. Okay, so, alright, so we're going to go to the ones I saved. Okay. Alright, y'all. So I'm just going to play a little bit so y'all can kind of have an idea as to what's going on. So let me start playing with this one.
They maybe had the wrong information. They tried to find him. They sent the little SWAT team with the little shit with the big gun. They came and he was taking his handcuffs. I told you that was wrong. I don't condone that shit. I don't give a fuck whether or not. Like, I hear what y'all are saying, but y'all, like, you can't, like, I don't condone that shit. It's more to the story, so I don't.
Well, I don't understand how they would let him out if you told them that your brother shot Tevin. They wouldn't. They supposed to have him. Okay, so I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna find out.
So yeah, please do. Like, I'm asking the same questions.
Okay, y'all. So it's been a lot of contradictory in Kelsey's story. 1 minute she admitted she was very upset the way her brothers handled it, which is a big red flag that most likely they played a part in this young man's death. But then she turns around and says she's not saying that her brothers had anything to do with that. She's not saying that she was there when that happened. So it's already a lot of inconsistencies in her story, but we'll continue. This is basically the post that she had put pertaining to the situation. But that's a lot of reading and a lot of other stuff going on. So I'm just going to play this young lady here because she gets very much to the point. She's very detailed. So let's let her break it down. She did a phenomenal job, and basically the majority of the things that she says is what I've been hearing. So I believe she's pretty on point as possible with her narrative on it. So let's go ahead and play it, y'all, because I really want y'all to really understand the details that surrounding the situation.
Kirk and Rasheeda Frost are shaking, and no, it doesn't have anything to do with Rasheeda rapping on a mic outside. This has something to do with a crime story. So an Atlanta rapper named T. Hood was in a relationship with Rasheeda's stepdaughter and Kirk's biological daughter, Frosted J, Kelsey Frost. Well, this young lady, they are saying, might have been the reason why his life was lost in his Georgia home a day or so ago. There's a lot to the story. Stay with me. Let's talk about it.
Make sure y'all hit that like button, y'all, if you're just not entering. And again, if you are lost in the sauce and just coming in, we're talking about the alleged rumor that Kirk and Rasheeda's sons and their daughter, well, Kirk's daughter, Rasheeda's stepdaughter, has a major involvement in the death of T. Hood. So that's what we're talking about, y'all. Kirk and Rasheeda's oldest son, Kai, or either Kirk's oldest son. Either one or both of them have played a part in the death of their sister's boyfriend, T. Hood. So we're going to kind of learn the details through this young lady here. She has a TikTok channel, Everybody Hate Chrissy. She's pretty good. Check her out.
First of all, I want to clear up who this is. When they speak about him, they say that he is the Percolator rapper. This is T. Hood's song, Percolator. Not to be confused with the famous song from 1992, It's Time for the Percolator. That would be this, and that's by Cashmere and the Dream Velvet. It's time for the percolator. It's time for the percolator. Those are not the same songs. This is a young Atlanta rapper. He's 33 years old. So this is T. Hood and Kelsey, and although I had not particularly heard of this song, I know Atlanta. This probably was making its rounds, and he probably was on his way up. Now, the rapper and Kelsey were in a relationship for a long time. They were at the house, allegedly. They are saying that they got into an altercation. She supposedly called her brothers. Her oldest brother, who is biologically just Kirk's, and then her younger brother, who is Kirk and Rasheeda'S, okay? She called her brothers there. Her brother, who is Kirk and Rasheeda'S, this young man right here who we had seen on the show. I've seen him on Love and Hip Hop so many times. And then this is Kirk's older son, okay? They came to help their sister, and allegedly, Kirk and Rasheeda'S' son is the one that pulled the trigger.
Again, all of this is alleged, as she already stated. So some people are stating that Kai, which is the son between Rasheeda and Kirk, he is the trigger man, okay, and all again alleged. And Kirk Frost's oldest son, they stated that it's speculation that he was the one who was the trigger man. Now they're also stating that both played a part in the situation. They both pulled the trigger. So that part is still pretty vague, but of course, you know, I will keep y'all updated once I find out specifically who was the trigger man.
Now, a lot is being released by T Hood's sister. She wrote a lot online, and those were some of the first things I saw before I understood the story. So here's messages from T Hood's sister. She said, "My effing brother, my whole heart, I love you forever, the biggest Z. I hate this happened to you." And she added Kirk and Rasheeda'S daughter, Kelsey, at Frosted K. "It's all your fault, you lying AB. Y'all killed my brother." She said, listen, her name is Lil Shorty, playing with them racks. She said she got to duck her taco for life, which means people are looking for them. Okay? People are looking to harm them on behalf of T Hood. She continued here, because she continued a lot. "I can't believe you gone. My mama firstborn, man. You were supposed to be here with us forever. Life changed when Dad passed. Now you, I'll never be the same. Heavenly Father, please wrap your arms around us in this moment of life that we never thought we'd come across. My brother was the most talented, outspoken, smartest, just the greatest person I knew. We got mommy and she," because he has a daughter. Okay? He has a daughter, not with Kelsey. He has a daughter with another young lady. And she said, "My whole effing heart, my beat alone got some crank some." So he was on his way up. And then this right here, it says, this is another user right online. They said, "Shooting someone in the back isn't self-defense. Shooting them 5 different times is overkill." They are saying that Kirk's and Rasheeda'S son shot him multiple times, hitting him in like the stomach, the back, like they let the chopper sing. And the sister said she stated that he was leaving and her brother shot him and said F her and him. Self-defense on what? Shut the F up. You don't know what the F you talking about. That's not towards the comment. That's for all the ignorant comments that know they didn't even make sense. If it's self-defense, you wouldn't run from the scene. You would stay at the scene because you did nothing wrong. And at the bottom again, somebody, 50 bricks said, "Oh, my mama, this is some BS. Where that and where at?" So she is...
Yes, and definitely this makes perfect sense. You know, the fact that this man was shot in his back, that's already a red flag. He was leaving a situation, he was going away. What provoked the unaliving anyway, I'm not sure if it was ego, or the fact that this man was not going to allow y'all to sit there and gang him and talk to him recklessly. Again, a lot of women have a bad habit, especially young women, and you got older women who do it too, of involving their male counterparts, their male relatives into their drama, knowing you're going to be with this man, knowing you're not going to leave, and especially if you already know your dude is not getting along with your people too well, that's the last thing you want. But again, she made this decision out of emotions, okay? And I will definitely commend T Hood's sister. I mean, they standing on business. I hope the Frosses know what they're up against. You know, they definitely got the lawyer up real quick, fast, in a hurry, because T Hood's sister is on their heads. And can you blame her? Absolutely not. Well, you know your brother's life was unjustifiably taken. You're going to stand on business, but let's continue.
Is in reference to people are looking for Kirk and Rasheeda'S oldest son, and they're looking for their son. They're looking everywhere. They have turned their comments off, and allegedly Kirk and Rasheeda have them in hiding. And allegedly Kirk and Rasheeda picked them up from the crime scene, which would make them legally complicit. That's what I'm saying. It's a lot here. She said, at Frosted Cake set up my brother. She had her brother shoot him, and she said she didn't know he shot my brother 5 times in the back, in the stomach, and chest. They cleaned it up. They hid the brother so the police wouldn't find the weapon or him. Her 2 brothers. One left the scene, but the one that lives on the property is still hiding. And I'm sure that's the light-skinned one, Kirk and Rasheeda's biological son together. She said, this is the other brother, the one that said his ankle hurts. He shot him also, but left the scene before the police came. He also stated that his sister called him to the property for help. This is all, again, T-Hood's sister. T-Hood's sister again. Get up off this app yapping if you don't know nothing, if you don't know what the F you talking about. If someone is so-called beating you up in your house, why not call 911 to remove the person from the home? He did live there as well. Kai Frost lives there as well, which is the brother. Why wait on someone to be shot and then call 911? Kai Frost is the yellow-skinned one that allegedly shot him 5 times. That's Kirk and Rasheeda's son together. It's Kai. She said, and your brother already lived there in the house. Why would you wait on your older brother, just Kirk's son, to come then shoot him together? When 911 could have been called from 3 p.m., you waited 3 or 4 more hours, then called 911. You didn't even call 911. You had us call 911. Okay? Please shut the F up. Stop eating D on this app. If this was a self-defense situation, why would the brother leave the house before the police arrived? And if there's no weapon, just a shot person that was already dead at the scene when you took the time to clean up, not call 911, because the 911 call came from 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼. Then you called after the police are already en route. Why run if it was self-defense?
Yeah, very, very interesting perspective on that. And as I stated, his sister is standing on business. It just makes no sense. Y'all didn't call 911. Allegedly, from what I heard, I guess Kelsey was so distraught, she called someone else, mentioned it to them, and they were the ones who made the call, okay? So all of this is not looking too well for the Frost, okay? It's just not a good look, but I'll let her continue. Please make sure y'all hit that like button.
So again, from what I read in the articles, it's really the sister doing the tell-all. She said at Rasheeda, at Kirk Frost's social media account, where is your son? And she sent the article. She stated that she was leaving her house. Yes, that was earlier. So everybody's going in. This is a police report from the Gwinnett County Police social media. The Gwinnett County Police Department is investigating a shooting at residence resulting in the death of 1 man at approximately 7 p.m. Now, remember they said that's when they were called, and the sister's saying that all this went down around 3 o'clock. Officers assigned to the South Precinct were dispatched to a residence on the 3900 block of Lee Road in incorporated Snellville. A caller reported that a dispute took place at the residence and someone was shot. Officers arrived at the incident location. They located the man who was shot and rendered aid. Gwinnett County Fire Rescue transported the man to a local area hospital where he ultimately passed from injuries sustained. 1 person was detained at the shooting location and is in the process of being interviewed by detectives. The case is being investigated as a homicide. The motive for the shooting is still under investigation. The identity of victim will be released following the next of kin notification. There is no active threat to the public. This is from Key Talk Media. Now, Kirk Frost's daughter, she is releasing her own stuff. She's saying she wants to pass away. She doesn't want to be on the earth anymore. She's an artist and she's devastated. She's posting pictures of them saying that she lost the love of her life.
Okay, I want to pause right here. Make sure y'all hit that like button, by the way, y'all. Why you don't want to be here anymore? Is it because you know that you were the cause of why a lot of this went down? The fact that you saw more than what you're willing to admit to, and you're having nightmares, you can't live with your truth. You can't live with the reality of the last time you saw the man that you loved. You seen him take his last breath, and you're stuck between a rock and a hard place because it came from somebody whom is your family, your brother. So she's definitely in an emotional mess, but I'm having a hard time empathizing and sympathizing with her for the fact that you, one, called them over there, and for two, you know what's going on, but you're straddling, playing two sides of the fence. You're up here telling T Hood's mother, you know, that it was your brother who caused the situation, but then you turn around on another note and you play crazy and say you didn't say who had anything to do with anything. She's all over the place. She's not thinking straight because it's a part of her that knows she played a major part in it. She was the initiator. She was the reason her brothers came there in the first place. Had she never ever made that call, this situation wouldn't have went down the way it did.
She's saying ish like this: I love my man with my entire heart. Sending me threats. I am grieving too. I am hurting too. I didn't harm anyone or ask anyone to harm him. I didn't call for anyone to come help me. I didn't ask for this. I would never. My baby was still healing from being shot 3 times. We handled our business in private. I'm livid also. I didn't call my family for help, for one. She said, just come get me, baby, please. I can't even type this. I love you, Papa. I can't wait to hold you again. And she literally is posting all this, and it sends chills up my spine because what is really going on? Did you send your family? Now, your brother, the oldest brother, looks ticky boom. Were they going through their own mental health issues? Were you guys arguing? Because if you've never dealt with somebody on perks, because the song being called Percolator is about affiliation to the drug. I don't know if he does that drug or not, but I know when people do perks, they tend to be a little angry. Was it that? Was he on Percocets because he had been shot 3 times? What was going on? His baby mother also posted this, like, wow, y'all really gonna take my child's daddy? I don't know how to feel. 2013, my forever love. Child.
Yes, T Hood is also a father. He does have one daughter, which is very, very sad, y'all. Hit that like button. We almost to the finish line.
Devastating. He believes behind a daughter, and I'm sure he was an amazing father. I don't know if this is going to go to trial, and we're going to keep up with it because they're going to have to get him to stand for this. They can't hide him forever. Are Kirk and Rasheeda going to get arrested behind all of this mess? We're going to have to stay tuned, see what happens, because eventually the police are going to come take everybody, question everybody, and we're going to know what happened sooner than later. Kirk and Rasheeda.
Very, very good analogy. Okay, I'm going to play, I think, probably one more.
I don't know. They maybe have the wrong information. They tried to find him. They sent the little SWAT team with the little shit with the big gun. They came and he was taken to handcuffs. I told you that was wrong. I don't condone that shit. I don't give a fuck whether or not. But I hear what y'all are saying, but y'all, like, you can't, like, I don't condone that shit. It's more to the story, so I don't know.
Well, I don't understand how they would let him out if you told them that your brother shot Tevin. They supposed to have him. Okay, so I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to find out.
So, yeah, please do. Like, I'm asking the same questions.
Okay, now, again, some contradictory in her stories. You know, first off, I've been advised not to speak up by plenty of parties. I can't sit back and let this narrative being created go on. Love my life is gone. The man I lay with and cuddle every night, every single night, is no longer here. So as I want to ask for respect and privacy, I won't, because I will always defend my baby. I don't condone this ish in any shape, form, or fashion. I am sick to the stomach. I don't wish this on anyone. Let me see this word here, y'all. My brain is all over the place. Oops, let me take it back. My brain, hold on. It's a lot going on, y'all. It's a lot going on. Okay, my brain is all over the place. Matter of fact, I got something better. I'm not even going to do all that right there. Okay, Kelsey. So we could read this clearly. Okay, y'all. Alright, so. And people have been definitely on this heavy. Okay. And they have deactivated their page. This is not the right Kelsey. They have deactivated their page. Kelsey Frost, Kirk Frost. Yeah, they have all of them have deactivated their page. I know Kai Frost's page is not up. Rasheeda has blocked her comments. So yeah, you know, it's a lot of heat being brought to them right now. So, you know, it's not a good situation. Okay, so let's see here. All right, Kirk Frost's daughter Kelsey speaks out following the murder of her boyfriend, Atlanta rapper T-Hood. The love of my life is gone. I didn't harm anyone or ask anyone to unalive him. I didn't call my brother. But obviously you did. That's how your brother ended up on that. Okay, so as I stated before, the love of my life is gone. The man I lay with and cuddle every single night is no longer here. So as I want to ask for respect and privacy, I won't, because I will always defend my baby. I don't condone this ish in any shape, any way, shape, form, or fashion. I am sick to my stomach. I don't wish this on anyone. My brain is all over the place. This is a total nightmare, but I'm going to get this off. I don't even have time to grieve or say my respects in the right manner, because I am defending myself, being attacked by people who are creating weird and sick rumors. I'm not good at talking, but I would love to give insight and let the people who love him in to get understanding. I don't have the right words, but I want to keep typing while also respecting his family and loved ones. Again, everybody is really, you know, is really turned up about this whole situation. Kirk Frost's daughter, Kelsey Frost, is speaking out following the murder of 33-year-old boyfriend, Atlanta rapper T-Hood. And according to TMZ, an investigation is underway after he was fatally shot following a dispute at his home. Yeah, so let me continue to keep going, y'all. So please stop listening to people who weren't there. Listening to all of these rumors and conspiracy theories will get nobody anywhere, but just following a false narrative. I hate I have to even post this, but I won't let y'all bully me and put the blame on me, making it seem like we weren't one. I ain't ever phantom no ish like this. I love my man with my entire heart. Sending me threats. I am grieving too. Look at the gaslighting. I am hurting too. I didn't harm anyone or ask anyone to harm him. I didn't call for anyone to come help me. I didn't ask for this. I would never. My baby was still healing from being shot 3 times. Yeah, he just went through being shot 3 times and he was recovering from that, y'all. We handled our business in private. I am livid also. I didn't call my family for help. For one, I'm the only girl, and I know we would be right back together that same night. If anything, I don't involve my folks in our business. I didn't call a brother. I didn't call anyone but his mother. That's my baby. I don't care who's involved. I don't condone this. I am not okay. All right, y'all. So, reading some of the comments, and I'm not going to read them all. She definitely should have listened when all parties advised her not to speak on the internet. Yes, she is doing too much, giving too much information. Not one time did she say, my brother didn't kill him. Interesting. See, if you think the detectives are not going to read all in between the lines, they are. Kelsey has proven that she is not good at handling her emotions. Her emotions will make her call her family in. Her emotions will make her go online and post. You dry snitching on yourself and not even realizing that. Rasheeda canceled your concert. Nobody was coming anyway, baby girl. This is what Rasheeda and Kirk need to be focused on. Now, I will say this. A lot of people are going at Kirk and Rasheeda. Listen, you can't always keep up with your children. Indeed, these children are old enough to make their own decisions. And I know, unfortunately, this is going to be the backlash. Rasheeda and Kirk is going to be getting a business on this. And good parents raise good kids to turn out to be bad. It happens. Again, I cannot fault Kirk and Rasheeda. But what has happened is, based off of the show, Kirk and Rasheeda have always presented themselves to be this honorable family that's about family, working together, striving for greatness together and all of that. And because Kirk has done so much in his marriage, you know, A lot of people are using their personal issues against them, and it really doesn't even apply to the situation. But that's what people do, as if good parents don't raise good kids that make bad decisions. Again, I don't think the Kirks are bad. I don't think Rasheeda and Kirk, the Frosts, are bad parents. I just think their kids took matters in their own hands, and this is the result of it. Not talking to adults, thinking you know it all. Kelsey being overly emotional in her feelings with her man, and they just basically made a very detrimental decision and didn't think about the consequences. Sometimes it's not even good to defend your loved ones who are in DV situations, because you'll be behind bars and they'll be defending the abuser. I see it all the time. All the time I do it. If you get caught up with some ish, which you'll do not call your brothers and put them in a situation where they could risk their life. I get it. Call the cops. That's what the police is for. Absolutely. So if I'm interpreting this correctly, her allegedly put hands and possibly feet on her. This was an ongoing thing. The family knew about it and were protective of her, but as an abused woman, do she covered up a lot of what was happening. They were either out and about when things popped off on the phone, said family members who probably previously warned him all about putting his paws on her, pulled up and pow him, and now she's groaning and upset, probably with said family member who protected her, and for good measure. She's also incriminated her family too. Yeah, she basically put it out there that her brother did it. So she basically admitted that he was abusing her, and we won't be surprised. Let's face it, a lot of these rapper dudes are very nasty. They're very egotistical. They make a lot of money. You know, we see NBA young boy, a lot of them are like that. Nevertheless, you leave the situation. You don't take their life. And again, this is alleged. We don't know if it even went down like that. She should have listened to whoever told her not to get on social media. Her statements invite more questioning and confusion versus clarity. I didn't ask my brothers to do this versus my brothers didn't do this. Sis, at least let them hire a lawyer first. Advise not to speak, then writing a 4-page letter is a saying. Oh my God. You should have said your brother didn't do it and kept it short. You went all around with everybody been saying, honey, did your brother do it or not do it? Yeah, this is very sad, y'all. Yeah, we definitely not getting a Rasheeda concert. People being messy as always. So her brother allegedly unalived him for abusing her, but she doesn't condone what her brother did, because she would have been back with him the same night. Exactly why families should stay out of situations like this. A whole mess, y'all. So it is a lot going on. Also, for those of you who are not aware, we lost another TV sibling. If you was a fan of the show What's Happening, rest in peace to Danielle Spencer, who lost her lone battle with cancer at the age of 60. Breast cancer. She had a double mastectomy back in 2014. Duffy, rest in peace to her. Ladies, please keep up with your well-being. Keep up with your health. Make sure you're going to the doctors. They can catch it early, you know. So I think, from what I know, she's been battling this a long time, and she's been doing everything she could to, you know, try to keep herself whole and healthy. TMZ shared that Danielle passed on Monday night with her mother and brother by her side in the hospital. Her What's Happening co-star Hayward Nelson, aka Dwayne, said he spoke to her 2 weeks ago and she seemed upbeat. Y'all, so this is our clapback queen, honey, who is now resting in the hands of our Heavenly Father. So definitely condolences to her family. But y'all, it's a whole lot going on in these streets out here, right? So anyway, we're going to come out of here. Y'all get my drift. It's a very, very unfortunate situation. This is what happens when these young people, they don't reach out and seek adult advice. I always tell my daughter before she makes a decision, always reach out to me, and she does a lot. I don't care what she's going through. She calls me. She's feeling emotional. She's angry. She's going through something with a boyfriend. She calls me versus trying to handle matters herself. And there's been a time or two her boyfriend called me. And he even had asked me for some advice. So we have to make it to where our children feel comfortable enough to come to us, and we don't make them feel embarrassed. We don't ridicule them. You know, we don't disrespect them or whatever the case is, or make them feel terrible about their emotions. We have to give them that openness, that welcomeness in which they would not mind coming to us. We got to be realistic, as if we made bad choices too. And if you grew up with strict parents, you should know what it feels like when you have parents who you can't talk to. But anyway, the Frosters got their work cut out. We're talking about lawyers. We're talking about court fees. We're talking about trial. We're talking about lawsuits. Depending on the outcome, if we discover that the Frosters' children had anything to do with the death of Tevin, known as T. Hood, they can very well end up being sued. I mean, let's face it, after the grieved comes the greed. You know, if this is the case and it's been proven to be found that the Frosters' children they caused the death of this young man, I guarantee you this family is going to sue the Frosts. When people get through the grieving, they get to the greed. Okay, that's just the bottom line. This is definitely going to test Rasheeda'S and Kirk's marriage. Okay, they got past Jasmine having a baby type thing, but this is a whole nother level. I don't think the Frosters are going to want to use this situation as a storyline. I'm sure Mona Scott or whoever producing the show is blowing them up like, hey, this could be phenomenal, like, you know, views if y'all would have agreed to, you know, film this. But this is a whole different situation that anybody in their right mind does not perceive as entertainment, not when it's possibly one of your own family members who can, even more so your own child, who possibly can very well be arrested for this. It's a very sad situation all the way around the block, y'all. That's why we got to teach our young women, if you're in a domestic violence or toxic relationship, get out of it, because it just creates a lot of problems. It gets your family involved. It gets really, really messy. So I will keep y'all updated. I'll let y'all know if anything changes. Nevertheless, check the post. Also, I'll still be posting things there. So y'all definitely keep the victims' family in prayers, because they are definitely going to need it. From what it sounds like, they're not letting up. And as Tevin's own mother stated, we're going to get down to the bottom of this. And they are. And they're only doing what's right. He's not here to speak for himself. They got to fight for him because he can't do it. Also, prayers to the Frosters. They're going to need it. Their kids done got them in some ugly, messed up predicament. They could very well lose their businesses. They could very well lose everything they built so hard for. Nobody wants to be affiliated with a family that has this type of controversy surrounding them. Yeah, this is going to be a long journey, absolutely. Anyway, hit that like button before y'all leave. It is your great diva knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge. For today, Mocha's Daily Drip, where I'm always serving you the hottest topics that are popping. So anyway, y'all, I will holler at y'all soon. Take care, and y'all have a good one. Bye.